Hey everybody, it's Ayana Dragon. How's you doing? Um, well, looks like it's time to start my first ever LP, and we're gonna start off with one of my favorite games of all time, Dot Hack, Sign, GU, Volume 1, Rebirth. Let's go! And I don't know why I just did a Mario reference there. Things that you may want to know, first off, is that this game is a continuation of the original Dot Hack games. They were just called Dot Hack. The after signs were actually the volume names themselves. The Dot Hack series was originally from Japan, and they got transferred over to English over here, so yeah, names may be slightly awkward. Ooh, excuse me, sorry about that. Thankfully, most important names are actually said in, actual cutscenes that you can actually hear. So you don't have to worry about stuff like that. As you just saw there, we are watching someone start up their game for the first time in, ever. A little backstory. The original Dot Hack game, you played as what was it? I can't remember. It was like a Blade Master or something like that. They were basically just rogues. They had 2 daggers. Since that time, the game has been updated to the World version 2, or V2.
Oh, this is cool.
And rogues have slightly different abilities.
Hey.
You'll see what I'm talking about when the time comes.
Adept rogue.
Yeah, they're also called Adept
Yeah,
Rogues
I'm
instead
talking
of
to you.
like Blade Masters. Here we meet our first 2 actual
So, I
said
take it this is
named
your first
characters.
time playing this
So
game.
obviously they must be important if they have names
It's just
and they're
installing it
said.
on my PC.
Well, if you wish, we will be honored to show you around.
I bet you would be,
I am
miss.
sure you would like to become well acquainted as soon as possible.
Just say yes and come along with us.
Okay, I don't see any harm in doing this.
All right, it is decided then.
It was?
I'll hand you my member address.
But
Member addresses
my
are
character never ever
short
said anything.
email addresses that you can only use in the world.
Yeah, what he just said there, well,
To instantly send and receive messages.
since I'm talking over him, I'm going to explain what he's telling you right now.
You can only invite
He's
people.
talking about member
That you have
addresses.
member
What they are
addresses
just
for
short
joining
email
team
addresses
party.
that can only be accessed in the world.
Alright,
They're
so let's
used
open the
to
menu.
form parties and get party
Press the
members with
triangle
you.
button to open it.
There will be instances where people will be online but busy and other nonsensical stuff that's really annoying, but that hasn't happened yet. As you can see in the lower lower right-hand corner, excuse me. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a great LP, guys, isn't it? As you can see in the lower right-hand corner, it's going to be instruction time. Pretty much the next, this entire video is just going to be instructions, and the video after this is probably just going to be one huge cutscene that I'm going to be silent for. I might joke about it, but who knows. Anyway, let's just follow the instructions for now, huh? Press triangle. And it does take a few seconds for it to actually say what. You can use either the left analog stick or the D-pad. I prefer using the D-pad in these menus because, as you can see, the analog stick occasionally passes what you want. So it's telling us to select the party,
This is a list of all the people who have a member address.
Yeah, this menu is shown so often, and unfortunately I cannot pause the recording, so you guys get to see this every time I form a party. Joy for you. Yeah. Anyway, as we play through, we're going to get a lot more party members. They're going to be special people. Right here, Eoten is a blade brandier, basically one-handed short blades. Well, not long. They're one-handed blades. Let's just put it at that. That's just telling us what that is. As you notice they're level 10, so they're a bit higher than us, considering that we just logged in for the first time and we're only level 1. As you can see here, Asta is an edge punisher. She's basically two-handed weapons. We'll get into more into what each one is as they pop up. But for now, you really just have to be worried about Adept Rogue, Blade Brandisher, and Edge Punisher. As I already said, Blade Brandiers are just one-handed, quick, but not exactly powerful hitters. They're fairly useful, but we're going to get into someone else who's much, much more useful later on. Edge Punishers are just heavy hitters. They use two-handed, broad... Ew, excuse me, sorry, I just had a soda, so I'm going to be burping a bit. Edge Punishers are just people who have two-handed broadswords. Very nasty, you get like 3 hits with them though. Anyway, let's just add these two as our parties. And...
Okay, let's have some fun.
Oh, I'm sure we will, especially with Asta. It is pronounced Asta, not Asta. I just like calling her Asta because... well, you'll see.
Okay, cool.
That's the one time it'll auto-pull out of the party member. Every other time you will actually have to manually pull out of the party member. And wow, that sounded suggestive right there, didn't it?
Remember, you can only invite people logged into the world.
Yeah, basically he just repeated himself. You can only invite people who are logged into the world. That's not exactly true. There are people who will be logged in, but you can't invite them. And you can invite people through regular email to be onto the world, but those are like special times, and generally more often than not, you will be the one who's invited, not them.
Enough with the formalities. Should we go on to your first adventure?
Yes, Asta, we should go on to my first adventure. Let's go! What did I like to say? Let's play! This is basically just showing you the save shop. It's a good idea to save every time you come back from a dungeon or an area or whatever. Because, if you die, you go back to the main menu instead of to, just back here to the town. So for the minute or two, for the few seconds that it takes to actually save, it can be a lifesaver if you somehow mess up in a fight or something.
From the root town to other locations.
Which will happen. Oh, trust me, that will happen.
In the world, all locations except for root towns, fields, and dungeons are called areas.
Now he's basically just going to explain. This is all just freaking tutorial. I really wish I didn't have to put you through this, but since it's the beginning, I might as well show you.
By combining 3 words at the Chaos Gate.
This gets used so often, it's not even funny. So they have to explain
determine
it.
the type of area, monster strength, and so on.
Yada 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 yada.
Alright, let's try out the word selection. Choose area word from the menu.
And they're basically just explaining how to do shit.
This is where you input the words.
Oops, sorry about that. they're explaining how to actually go to fields and dungeons. Now, fields are just open area. They're like one level. And their mission is one of two things. Actually, the mission can only be one of two things. There's mission defeat the boss, and then there's mission get to the beast statue. Beast statue fields are not my favorite ones, and if you see me ever like training for a mission or anything like that, you'll notice that I tend to go for defeat the bosses.
The thing at the top is the word plate.
Generally speaking, this yields more experience than the chest, and it will give you some good treasure as well. You'll actually get more treasure and stuff from doing defeat the bosses, so your inventory may actually fill up faster.
Okay, why don't you give it a try?
But they're not necessarily as good items.
Choose courageous from your stock.
And he's just gonna go through and
okay, now you can go to your first area.
we're just gonna go
Oh,
to
yeah,
our
I
first
almost
area.
forgot. See the mark left of the area word?
This is telling you about servers. Right now, it's basically just saying out of the numerous servers there are, each one will have a different symbol. This symbol determines basically what level range the area you're gonna go into is. We're gonna get more into that when we actually get to another server. For now, let's just worry about Delta, which is
That's
that
the
symbol.
server symbol. It indicates the server you're currently in.
And he's just
Right
basically
now,
going to
showing
repeat what I
triangle
just
for
said.
Delta.
Yeah, triangle is basically Delta.
So, as you can see, we are
We're
all
all in the
Delta
Delta server. That's pretty obvious. There will be times when you go to another server. Most of the time you'll actually be on Delta, so it's good to keep these things bookmarked
If it's a different server, pay attention to the
and know
If you want
what
to know
each of
more,
the
just check out
things
some of the
do.
forums. Alright, then we're off to Delta Courageous Engaging Daydream.
Actually, not just yet, AO10. EO10. We are not going off just yet. We are going to be saying goodbye to all the viewers for now. And next time on Let's Play .hack sign GU Volume 1 Rebirth. We will be getting more into the story of this. Sorry to cut this little tutorial short, but we're approaching the 16-minute mark. Actually, no, we just passed the 15-minute mark, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is I don't want my computer to destroy me. So, why are you still here? I already said goodbye. Seriously, go on, shoot.